This is a quick tutorial on how to organize your course by module. As you add assignments to your course, it's going to be very hard for students to keep up with where the assignments are if they just access assignments. So I kind of played around and looked at other tutorials and saw that I wanted to organize by module, which you can do by unit or weeks. I'm doing mine by weeks, so I'll show you really quickly. You can see students access the homepage and they get to Zoom first and then my weekly modules. I link the weekly module to the week we're on. I'm not finished with this. This is getting ready for this module for next week. However, you can see like last week's module had everything for them that they needed to access. I work mainly out of discussions and assignments, and then of course our handouts and our links. So what you're going to do, and I'll show you how to create one from scratch, but you use the text headers for the days of the week, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And then I add everything underneath. So I add my objective. They know that I want them to know where they go first. The first is always, and I've kind of trained them, the first thing they do is when they come into class in front of me on their phones, if they don't have technology, or if they are at home, the first thing they do after they log into Zoom is they go to the objective or the agenda for the day. They check the bell ringer and they complete the bell ringer. And then all of the assignments that match the agenda are there. So it's just kind of a good way to organize. I'll show you one that's already done from last week. And sometimes I move things, so like they needed the summer reading as project, they needed that for working today. So this was actually here earlier, but I moved it. So if we went into last Thursday, or this past Thursday, you can see their objective and their agenda. And then I had their bell ringer, well, they completed, but then when we did our grammar and writing lesson, I make my objective a discussion so that they can respond under the discussion, and I can go in and give them points for that. So we were working with dependent and dependent clauses and adding a positives. So they went in and for a bell ringer, they responded with a dependent and independent clause. So I kind of like working out of discussions, especially for the objectives, or to have a discussion, because they can quickly do that as a bell ringer or exit ticket. Okay, so we can go back. Once they see the objective and it's under that day of the week, then, and they looked at the agenda and saw what we were going to do that day, each handout or assignment or whatever they need for that is organized underneath. So the easiest way to do that, this helps if they miss class. If they don't want to go watch the whole recorded video, they can look and see, oh, well, I just need to go back to the middle part because I don't really understand this clause practice Google form, or whatever it is that they need to see. Let's say I want to take this and I want to copy this module. And I want to copy it to, let's just go to my planning period because I don't have any modules in there. I'm going to go back to my dashboard. Go to my planning period. Okay, so now I need to go down to modules. There won't be any modules created here, except for the one I copied. So I copied the module here, and now all I have to do is go in and kind of change what I want. So that's going to be really handy if you make it in one class and then you want to copy it to another course that may be a different period, or it might even be a different class, but you want it organized this way, so you just change the names here, or you might change out the files or whatever. So let's say, let's get rid of this one. That's how to move modules. Let's say you want to create it from scratch. You're going to hit add. Canvas loves the add button. So the plus sign is that you're adding something that's here. We're adding the module. And let's say week of, we're just going to use this same. We'll use last week's. Now everything you need is, like, you can drop files, but we want to get our days in. Now, once you, like, if you're working by unit, if this is your unit 1, here's where you're not going to add a new module. This is the module. You're going to add elements from this plus sign right here. If you're working for a week, then everything for that week is going to come from this bar. Don't start adding more modules. That's going to get confusing until you're at another week or another unit. This is adding to this week's module. So I want to go in here and I want to add my text headers. You can add the date, but let's just, that's already there, but you would type it in if it wasn't. We'll just add 2. I don't want to indent these, but let's say I did end up wanting to indent. You don't have to go back into those. You just click your caret or your little 3 dots and indent, increase indent, and that one will indent, or you can take it away. Okay, so then I want to add, I want them to do a discussion as a bell ringer when they walked in. So I'm going to name it bell ringer discussion. I want that to be on Monday, so I'm just going to move it. You would go into the discussion, add whatever you want them to discuss. Save and publish. You're good with that. So we want to go back to our modules. It didn't show it. It shows that the crossed out I right there because I haven't published it yet. So you just make sure you publish. If you publish the whole module, it's going to publish everything, and then you can unpublish something if you weren't ready for them to see it yet. This is also where you can do, I haven't completely figured that out, but where you make them only do one thing at a time. All right, so then, so we don't make this very long, you could also add files. I'll just add something already here. Let's say we want that on Monday. And then you add just what you want. You move it around, and then as you keep adding your other modules, they know where to go by date. They can access their assignments, their files. Everything's kind of in one place. This is, I found, pretty convenient for me and my students in organizing. Hope this helps. Thanks.